In this episode of 10 Best Ones, we are going to check out the top 5 best gaming motherboards in 2018. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and I tried to list them based on their price, quality, durability and more. If you want to see the price and find out more information about these gaming motherboards, you can check out the links down in the description and the comment section below. Okay, so, let's get started with the video. At number 5, we have the MSI Z370 Gaming Pro Carbon. The MSI Z370 Gaming Pro Carbon is a budget-oriented motherboard that supports most, if not all of the latest storage standards, so let's start right away, and find out why is this motherboard worth of having. From a design perspective, the Z370 features a black construction, with gray beams that are spread across the entire unit, giving it an appeal that a typical gamer couldn't simply resist. At the top, you can find an input-output panel that is followed by an L-shaped heatsink that supports the motherboard's power phases. In addition, there are a thermal shield and memory slots as well, and they are positioned nearby the M2 slot. Interesting enough, due to their strategic positioning, they basically make a clear space around the LGA 1151 socket. Since I've mentioned the socket, I'd like to inform you that the socket itself has a great room for coolers, so if you're building a PC by yourself, then you won't find any troubles in terms of installation. Across the motherboard, you will also recognize the LED strips, 4 memory steel slots that support up to 64 GB, an Intel Gaming LAN, 4 USB 3.1 ports, a single USB 3.1 Gen 2 port, 2 M.2 ports, golden audio jacks with SPDIF, an Intel Wi-Fi card and an Audio Boost 4 with amplifier. I'd also want to mention that the DisplayPort 1.2 and the HDMI 1.4 are there to give you an access to the onboard graphics, so as a whole, this motherboard is equipped like a tank. Now, let's talk about the features. The MSI Z370 can be personalized to glow with up to 16.8 million colors that will shine in 17 different effects, so if your graphics card is also RGB, then you will have a real gaming machine that will highly enhance your gaming ambient. Moreover, due to the presence of the Chemi-Con audio capacitors, you can fully immerse in the game you're playing, because the audio quality will be incredibly defined. Moving on, the motherboard's BIOS will equip you with numerous overclocking options, and in order to see the options, all you have to do is just press the delete key during the boot. Overall, I highly recommend you to consider this motherboard as your next purchase, because it combines a high-quality performance with an affordable price. Moving on, at number 4, we have the Asus ROG Strix Z370i Gaming. The Asus ROG Strix Z370i is one of the best, and most sold motherboards in the market, because this model packs huge overclocking capabilities with a solid build quality, for your ultimate experience. From a design perspective, the ROG Strix Z370i has an attractive dark and silver construction, that houses an Intel LGA 1151 socket, and an Intel Z370 chipset, which supports the 8th gen of Intel Core processor. Around them, there are 8 USB ports, of which 4 are USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A, and the other 4 are 2.0 Type A ports. In addition, there is a DisplayPort, and an HDMI video outputs that comprise the integrated GPU. For your information, the HDMI can produce 24 Hz at 2160p, while the DisplayPort is slightly better, and can output a refresh rate of 60 Hz at 4065 by 2304, which is great. Moving on, you will instantly notice the ROG logo that is embedded on a thick aluminum M2 shield, which gathers both the PCIe X4 and the SATA-based M2 drives, while slightly beneath there is the system fan. The other components include a 2x2 dual-band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth V4.2, 1 LAN RJ45 port, 5 OFC audio jacks, an optical SPDIF out connector, and a metal-shielded PCIe X16 slot that packs 4 metal pins that will ensure a higher level of security, so your graphics card would stick fixed in a place. But what grabbed my attention the most, is the motherboard's double-decker heating that will let you place the M2 SSD atop of the PCH heatsink. According to the manufacturer, this is brilliant due to the fact that the two heatsinks are thermally isolated so the PCH and the M2 wouldn't get affected by each other. In terms of power delivery, your CPU would drain power from an 8-pin connector that is positioned at the top of the motherboard, so as you see, the unit's layout is pretty good. I would also want to inform you that this model will let you have a 5-way optimization with auto-tuning, so you can use its overclocking and cooling profiles, and have a greater control over your rig. To conclude, the Asus ROG Strix Z370i is a must-have for everyone who wants to invest in a quality, RGB motherboard that will equip you with endless customization and overclocking possibilities. Next stop, at number 3, we have the Asus ROG Maximus X Formula LGA1151. The Asus ROG Maximus X Formula is just meant for high-end gaming and liquid cooling, but what are the benefits of having it? Let's find out right away. From a design perspective, the Maximus X Formula has an aggressive black, gray and silver layout with an RGB lighting, spread across the entire construction. The rear input-out ports consist of 4 USB 3.0 ports, 4 USB 2.0 ports, an optical SPDIF out, 5 audio jacks, an HDMI 1.4b, a DisplayPort 1.2, and a LAN RJ45 port. In addition, you can also find one clear CMOS button, one USB BIOS flashback button, one USB 3.1 Type-A, one USB 3.1 Type-C, an Asus 2x2 Wi-Fi 800 2.11 and a Bluetooth V4.2 module that will guarantee a quick, strong and reliable signal. Moreover, this motherboard has two M.2 slots, of which one is positioned horizontally, and the other vertically. The horizontal one is positioned below the heatsink with a thermal pad, and it supports drives up to 110 mm in either PCIe or SATA mode. While the second one supports PCIe only with up to 110 mm in size. At the top of the motherboard, there is a single 8-pin EPS for CPU power, and a high-amp fan connector. Interesting enough, the high-amp connector is followed by a W pump plus connector that supports up to 3 amps of output at 12 volts, with a maximum output of 36 watts of delivery, which is great. For water cooling, all you have to do is just connect the liquid loops to the crosskill block, and your high-end gameplay can begin instantly. I'd also want to inform you that this unit has a multi-GPU support, so you can easily attach 2 graphics cards in order to improve the performance of your rig. As our previous model, the Maximus will let you have a 5-way optimization, so with a simple click, you can overclock and adjust the cooling performance without any problem. Finally, through the Aura Sync RGB software, you can customize the colors, and choose from the 12 animations that will greatly enhance your gaming ambient. Overall, the ROG Maximus X Formula is a must-have, so if you ever decide to purchase it, you will assure of how quality it is. Moving on, at number 2, we have the ROG Zenith Extreme. The Asus ROG Zenith Extreme is powered by AMD Ryzen Threadripper, so if you've been seeking for power and quality, well, this motherboard packs them both. From a design perspective, the Zenith Extreme, as with most Threadripper motherboards, packs 8 DDR4 memory slots, so you will have enough room to expand and move as the technology goes forward. But, the biggest highlight is the TR4 socket, that supports the newest Threadripper CPUs, and what's interesting about it, is that it has a slide-in mounting system, so it will stick locked in place, and ensure a higher level of security. In addition, there are 4 PCIe 3.0 x 16 slots that will support your graphics cards, and in order to secure them, Asus has integrated a metal, so you shouldn't worry about anything. Moving on, this unit is equipped with an M.2 heatsink that is integrated into the PCH heatsink, and according to those who've purchased this motherboard, the cooling performance is highly effective. Another great thing about this motherboard are the connectivity options. In total, you can find 12 USB 3.1 ports, 2 USB 2.0 ports, 1 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-A ports, 1 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C port, so as you can see they are quite many. Speaking of the audio, you can find a shielded Supreme FX zone, which keeps the majority of the audio components, and users claim that the audio quality is perfectly defined because it is 8-channeled. Moreover, the Zenith has an 802.11 AC-MU MIMO wireless and a Bluetooth 4.1, which I find it pretty useful, due to the fact that the Wi-Fi signal will be reliable and very strong, so you can play your favorite games without any lag at all. I'd also want to mention that this motherboard comes with a ROG Ariane 10G card, which will help you transmit enormous 4K video files, so networking-wise, you will be pretty well equipped. Before we end, there is one more thing that I have to say, and that is the ROG 5-way optimization technology, that will let you tailor everything, with the intention to elevate your user and gaming experience to a whole new level. To conclude, the ROG Zenith Extreme is a top choice for everyone, so don't hesitate, and feel the difference. Finally, at number 1, we have the Gigabyte Aorus GA-Z270X. The Gigabyte Aorus GA-Z270X Gaming 9 is a premium motherboard that packs dual-killer E2500 gaming network, an EKWB water block, and a creative sound blaster audio for your ultimate user and gaming experience. From a design perspective, the Aorus is designed to be compatible with most of the ATX cases, so if you use one of them, then you can place without any problem. In addition, the Z270X Gaming 9 integrates a Z270 chipset, 8 SATA ports, M.2 slots, 2 U.2 ports, a 4-way SLI support for the graphics, as well as plenty of USB ports. The rear panel has one USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C port, a USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-A port, 5 USB 3.1 Gen 1 port, while the front packs 4 USB 3.1 ports, and 4 USB 2.0 ports. But that's not all. This motherboard has a DisplayPort 1.2 and an HDMI 2.0, that is backward compatible with HDMI 1.4. What's so special about the HDMI is that it offers 18 GBs of bandwidth, and it will also let you transfer multiple video streams at an aspect ratio of 21:9. As I've stated at the beginning, there are dual killer LAN ports as well as an Intel Gigabit LAN port, and they will ensure that you will have the best possible networking, like you've never witnessed before. Moving on, you can find 4 PCI Express 3.0 x 16 slots, 2 PCI Express x 1 slots, and what's really cool is that the x 16 slots are protected by ultra-durable armor, so you shouldn't worry literally about anything. Another great thing about this motherboard is the presence of the Smart Fan 5 technology, which will allow you to interchange the fan headers, in order to reflect different thermal sensors at different locations on the motherboard. This is perfect, due to the fact that the cooling will be spread across the entire unit, so the cooling performance will be greatly enhanced. Before we end, I'd like to suggest you take an advantage of the RGB Fusion app, because it will let you use 7 different lighting modes, and open you a door for everything that is connected with the lighting. Overall, the Gigabyte Aorus GA-Z270X Gaming 9 is worthy of considering, and if you ever decide to purchase it, you would never be disappointed and regret your choice. Overall, the Gigabyte Aorus GA-Z270X Gaming 9 is worthy of considering, and if you ever decide to purchase it, you would never be disappointed and regret your choice. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked this video. If this video was helpful to you, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this in the future, and if you have any questions related to these gaming motherboards, you can leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can.